And I believe I have her on the air right here, right now. How's it going?
It's going great. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being on the show. Truly appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for asking me.
So, before we begin, I definitely appreciate people supporting telling people to give this show a listening, especially when the guests are promoting this particular show. I just read your status. I think it's on your, no, it's on your personal Facebook fan of account, if you will. And
Hmm.
this may be one of the coolest promote posts I've ever seen. And and I quote, "Hey friends, if you have some time to kill before the fight, tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern to hear me run my mouth on Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C on TMV Cafe Radio." That was from Olivia moments ago. That was through her.
Oh yeah, that's
So
hot off the press.
so before I get into the music questions and everything, do you have any interest as it pertains to this fight? And do you have a prediction who's gonna win or anything? Any interest?
I have been paying so little attention, except for to maybe like memes on Instagram.
Hmm.
But it's the Irish guy and Mayweather, right?
Yeah, Conor McGregor. That's his name.
There we go, Colin McGregor.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who do you guys want to win?
Well, popularity says they want Conor McGregor to pull the upset. This is his first
Mm.
professional boxing fight. He's mostly known for being an MMA fighter. He's the best.
Oh yeah, he's UFC.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
he's got two championships and two different class rates in UFC. He's done amateur boxing, but tonight this is his professional boxing in-ring debut against a
Wow.
guy who is 49 and 0, who's never lost, who's never been knocked down, who's never been knocked out, and he's been boxing for 20 plus years. Floyd Mayweather, that is. Uh,
Oh yeah.
but my personal pick is Floyd Mayweather. Um, I'm picking him to win. It's going to be crazy if Conor could put an upset, but
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. I don't.
No, it's such a different discipline, to be a boxer. From my world of expertise about boxing,
Pretty,
but it just seems like it's a whole different thing.
pretty much. And now that
Yeah.
we got that out the way, we're gonna focus on you.
All
Um,
right.
so what got you into being a music singer songwriter?
Well, I started writing songs when I was really young, probably 10 or 11, and they weren't very good, but I really enjoyed it. And I started a band when I was 12 to play those songs, and I kind of just kept doing it. It grew, and I hopefully got better at writing songs and performing them. And I don't know if there was a point where I really decided I am a singer-songwriter. I'm going to do this for a living, but I've been lucky enough to do that, which is great.
So you are originally from Denver, Colorado, and
Yeah,
the
I
Rocky
am.
Mountains only reside in Nashville, Tennessee, and that's definitely a heavy music city, definitely known for its country music, the home of country music, pretty much.
Oh
Um,
yeah, and they make sure you know it too.
yeah, it's like so many country artists. It's hard to keep up who's out there, or whatever. If you
Yeah.
so how has it been living in Nashville, being a part of the music scene, going to shows and things like that? How has it been for you, you know, going from Denver to Nashville and pursuing your music career?
It's been a big change. I think when I first came to Nashville, I felt overwhelmed and intimidated because there's just so much talent here. And the level of talent at just an open mic and a tiny little dive bar is mind-blowing. And there's music everywhere. I think I played at Qdoba. Literally music everywhere. So first coming here, it was a lot. You really get a reality check of where you are on the totem pole as far as your skills, and but I think it becomes less intimidating and more motivational, that you want to get in these rooms and work with people where, like, I always try to be the least talented person in the room so I can learn something every time. And there's so many insanely talented writers and musicians, singers, producers, that for me it's just been like a kid in a candy store. There's so much to be inspired by and so many people. And it does sometimes I have to, I got to go back to Denver for take a little break because it is pretty nonstop. But I can't imagine being anywhere else.
You've had a very busy summer, dating back to early June. You got the summer tour. You've been in states such as Indiana, Tennessee, North Carolina, Kentucky, Missouri, I think that's what that is, Alabama.
Yeah.
You also been in your neck of the woods in Colorado, so forth. And your tour just ended, from my understanding. How would you best describe the tour? What was it like going travel and just having this tour happening? And how do you feel about the tour overall?
I feel like it was a big success for me. Most of all, honestly, personally, it was a really cool experience to meet so many new people and see so many new places. And again, it was a way to kind of step out of Nashville and get some perspective, because I think in a music center, you spend so much time playing music for other creators, and they're listening for different things. And when you step outside of that, you get to play music for just straight up fans of music. So it's kind of a different thing. There's not that same level of criticism, or it's just more about enjoyment of music. And so I think it went really well. I met a lot of really cool people, really nice people. Got to see some places I'd never seen before, and it kept me, and so when I did have time to come back to Nashville and write songs, I felt really motivated to do that. I didn't feel burnt out because I was having these new experiences all the time.
So, as far as highlights, moments that stand out to you, I will assume that going back to your hometown of Denver, that was definitely a highlight for you in this tour. What are some other highlights that stood out to you as far as shows, people that you ran into, the reaction you got from your songs and everything? What are some of the highlights that stood out to you on this tour?
Yeah. One big one was playing in Asheboro, North Carolina. I played there before, and it's a pretty small town. I think the North Carolina Zoo is there, and that's its biggest claim to fame. My good friend Madeline, she's an amazing singer-songwriter as well, we played at a place called Four Saints Brewing, and these people filled it up. Some of whom had seen me play before and seen her play before, and they sat there for a 3-hour set, the whole set, clapping for each song like it was the first song. And they all hung out afterwards to talk, and we're Facebook friends with half of them now, and it was so cool to be welcomed like that to a town that neither of us is from there. We've never been before, but these people were so funny and so excited about music. That was probably one of my favorite shows. I mean, they were all really great. We played in that same run. North Carolina's kind of on my mind because that was recent. But we played in Raleigh at this farm called Old Farm. We could play outside. We sweet people. We had to eat food that was, grown right on the farm, made for us right on the farm. And that was just amazing. It was kind of this little oasis, this beautiful place by a lake. And my friend worked. It was just a cool experience of, kind of a breath of fresh air.
So recently you signed a worldwide publishing deal. Then that's pretty awesome. Congratulations, by the way. What does this publishing things pertain to your music?
Yeah. So I write for myself as an artist, but I also write songs to pitch to other artists. Some of them in country genre, some not. And I write songs that are some that I perform and some that I don't, that get pitched to TV, movies, advertising campaigns. So this deal just means that I kind of have some support, some champions behind me, some muscle behind me to try to make those connections with my songs, and whether they're featuring me as an artist or trying to get them in the hands of, more well-known artists. It's kind of like the equivalent of a record label to someone who is solely an artist. It's sort of like a writer has this publishing deal, and just kind of trying to help get your music heard and make sure you are in the best spot to do that and have the best tools to do that. So I'm really excited and really grateful.
That's awesome. Definitely looking forward to hear more from you and this publishing deal moving forward. And you perform in Kentucky at you told that's where I live at, and I support local music in the central Kentucky area, well, mostly all over Kentucky for that matter. And do you plan on doing some more shows, or maybe like a fall type of tour, or is this going to be like some selected shows for the rest of the year?
There is the first show, it's about 2 weeks long, and we go kind of east and north, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Virginia. But I will be back in Kentucky at least once. I think I'm playing there in September 15th. I'm playing in Madisonville. I know that for sure. It's called Crowded House, and I love playing people. It's a big stage, and it's fun. So it'll be those 2 weeks in October, and then everything else is kind of spotty and kind of adding stuff as I go.
Awesome. So who do you consider your biggest influences as an artist?
I would say it's a tough question to ask. I mean, I'm a fan of so many people, but I tend to go back to Sheryl Crow, John Mayer, that kind of lyrically focused singer-songwriter stuff.
I got you. Now,
Yeah.
For people that wants to learn more from your music, why don't you go ahead and promote your social media links, and where can people hear your music and purchase your music as well?
Yeah, so you can pretty much find everything from my website. That's Olivia Rudeen, RUDEEN.com. I'm on Facebook, Olivia Rudeen, Instagram, sort of when I pay attention, like I said. And my music's up on Spotify, iTunes, pretty much anywhere you get your music, Apple Music. So if you just plug my name in, Olivia, RUDEEN, you should find some stuff.
Well, Olivia, it was great chatting with you, and thank you so much for your time. I did put your earlier, Away and Love and War.
Great, thank you.
Definitely enjoy those tracks. And the Love and War song is from a duet project with you and another artist, and y'all go by it, and y'all under the stage name Olive James.
Correct.
So,
Yeah. So that's also on Spotify and iTunes as well, and that's another singer-songwriter named Jake Etheridge, who based in Nashville, and we write a lot together, and we wanted to put some of that music out in the world, so we did a little 6-song album and put it out there.
Awesome. Well, continued success, and thank you for being on the show. You have a good night. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
You have a good night. Have a good weekend.